Two compact tractors sit on two different dealer lots this morning. One wears a Bobcat badge, and the sticker reads $41,173. The other wears a Kioti badge, and its sticker reads $36,937. Same 34.9 horsepower platform. Same factory in South Korea. $4,236 apart. And before anyone calls that a rumor, understand that both of those are the manufacturer's own posted list prices. The company that builds the Kioti, a Korean firm called Daedong, publishes its Bobcat supply contract right on its own newsroom page. 361 billion won, tractors and powertrains, from 20 to 70 horsepower, running from 2025 through 2028. The receipt is sitting on the builder's own website. So we are going to walk the dealer lot, badge by badge, and name 5 brands charging you a premium for a machine somebody else built. Bobcat, Case IH, New Holland, Rural King, Massey Ferguson. Look at the tractor you're about to sign for and see if it is on the list. And stay to the end, because one of these companies admits the whole thing in writing, and one of them charges you less for the badge, not more. Now, before we walk the row, let us deal with the biggest badge on the lot, the one everybody argues about in the comments. John Deere. And here is the honest answer, because this channel does not deal in anything else. Deere assembles its subcompact tractors in Augusta, Georgia. Those are Deere's own words, on Deere's own website. The green tractor is built by Deere. But lift the hood on a Deere 1025R, and the engine bolted in there is a Yanmar. And Deere names it right on its own spec page. And that same engine, a Yanmar 3TNV 80F, turns up under the hood of a Case YH, a New Holland, an LS, a Rural King, and a TYM. 6 badges. 1 engine family. So Deere is not on our list today because Deere does build its own tractor. But that one shared engine cracks the door open, and the same trick is running on badge after badge, right down the row. Start with the pair from the cold open, Bobcat and Kioti. Bobcat's compact line is built by Daedong 2 under that same published contract. Put the 2 spec sheets side by side and they stop pretending. Take Bobcat's smallest, the CT 2025, against the Kioti CK 2620. Both list the same 24.5 horsepower. Both run the same engine casting, 3A, 165. And both spec sheets print the same lift, 1,631 pounds at the hitch. And on that tight pair, Bobcat asks about $1,000 more for the orange paint. But the badge is hiding something bigger in that number, because the premium is not fixed. On a larger pair, both machines ride at 45 horsepower, the gap shrinks to $185. That is statistical noise. On the cab versions from the cold open, Bobcat's cab against Kioti's up-level SEH trim, the gap balloons to $4,236. Same builder, same steel, and the markup for the color swings from pocket change to the price of a good used pickup. Now, in fairness to Bobcat, part of any gap on a lot is real. A free front-end loader promotion or a financing deal can make one lot look thousands cheaper than another for reasons that have nothing to do with the badge. But the factory is still the factory. Number 2, Case IH. The red Farmall compacts, the ones with the century-old American farm name on the hood. CNH, the company that owns Case YH, put out its own press release naming LSM Tron, a Korean manufacturer, as the maker that builds its compact tractors. Not a blogger, not a forum. CNH, on CNH's own media site. And the machines line up to prove it. The Case IH Farmall 25, SC, and the LSM T125 match on the spec sheet down to the last pound, the same 1,444 pounds of tractor, the same engine, the same lift capacity. But the cleanest tell is one you can check yourself, standing at the dealership, for free. Look at the serial plate riveted to the frame, the serial number on the Case IH, and the serial number on the New Holland parked right next to it. Start with the very same 3 letters. Read the letters right after that shared prefix. And you find an F where the Case wears Farmall, a W where the other wears Workmaster. It is the same plate and the same builder, wearing different brand letters. Now, the Steelman here is real. If your Case IH dealer is 10 minutes down the road and stocks parts on the shelf, that convenience is worth actual money, and nobody is telling you to ignore it. Here is a real question. Have you ever priced 2 different badges on 2 different lots and found the very same machine hiding under both? Which 2 were they? That cross shop is the one nobody warns a buyer about. Number 3, New Holland. And this one matters because it is where an honest channel has to show its own hand. New Holland is the other half of CNH, which means the blue Workmaster compacts come off the same LSM Tron line as the red Case IH machines they are said to compete with. 2 rival brands, side by side on the showroom floor, built by one Korean company that sells neither name of its own here. The Workmaster 25S and the LSMT 125 carry the same 24.7 horsepower, the same 17.2 PTO horsepower, the same 992 pounds of lift. But watch what happens when you go looking for a price. Neither CNH nor LS publishes a real list price on these machines. So we went to the dealer advertisements instead, and on one single model, brand new, the prices scatter by just under $13,000 from one lot to the next. That spread is wider than any gap between the 2 badges, which means anybody who quotes you a precise number here is quoting noise. 1 Korean factory, 2 proud American nameplates, 1 hidden supplier. On New Holland against LS, the shared factory is the only receipt there is. So before the next 2 badges flip this upside down, stop for a second and ask yourself one thing. On the last tractor you bought, or the one you have your eye on right now, how much of that payment went to the machine and how much of it went to the paint? Hold on to that number, because the next 2 do not just cost more. One of them flips the game upside down. Number 4, Rural King, the farm store chain. And Rural King does not hide who builds its RK tractors, because Rural King says it out loud, right on its own question and answer page, that its tractors are made by TYM, the largest tractor manufacturer in South Korea, the same firm that builds tractors sold under other leading brands. The store put the confession in writing itself. Now watch the badge game turn inside out. Take the 74 horsepower machines. The Rural King RK 74, cab, power shuttle, self-leveling loader included, is posted right there on Rural King's site at $45,999. The very same tractor, out of the very same TYM factory, on the very same 4-cylinder Deutz turbo diesel, wearing a TYM badge instead, and the cheapest one any dealer advertises anywhere in the country is $55,349. That is about $9,000 more for the factory's own badge than for the store's badge on the factory's own tractor. Measured against the national average asking price, the store badge runs closer to $11,000 cheaper. And the part nobody expects is this. The factory that builds the tractor, TYM, does not publish a price at all. Not on a single model page. The store brand posts one clear number for the whole country, while the pricier badge makes you call a dealer just to find out what it wants. Now, be fair about it. Down at the small end, the 2 badges almost touch. A 25-horse Rural King at $18,999 against about $19,300 for its TYM twin. The gap opens as the machines get bigger. Rural King sells through farm stores, not a full ag dealer network, and that service and parts difference is worth weighing against the money you save. Number 5, and if you think this is all old history catching up, this one was signed last year. Massey Ferguson, the gray and red name that has been on American farms for generations. In February of 2025, Massey's parent company, AGCO, announced a new partnership. A European manufacturer called SDF, the company behind the Deutz Fahr brand, will build Massey Ferguson tractors up to 85 horsepower, starting in the middle of 2025. Read that again. This is not a story about what happened in the 1980s. This is a brand new costume, stitched together last year, phasing in across most of the world right now. There is no clean price receipt on these tractors yet, because they are that new, so we are not going to invent one for you. But the pattern does not need a price to make its point. This system is not some relic from a bankruptcy 40 years ago. It is not fading out. It is expanding, and it is headed for the lot where you are going to spend your money. So walk back down that row of tractors with me one more time, badge by badge, before anybody hands you the tidy explanation for it. 5 brands, 5 paint jobs, and 5 separate salesmen who will each swear their machine is the real one, the original, the one worth the extra money on the sticker. Not one of them is lying to your face. They just let the paint do the talking, and they count on you never thinking to ask who poured the steel underneath it. And under every one of those hoods sits a receipt that says otherwise, out in the open, on a website, or a spec sheet, or a serial plate that anybody standing on that lot could have read at any time. So here is every receipt, said fast, 1 line each. Bobcat and Kioti share one Daedong supply contract, posted on the builder's own newsroom. The Case IH and the New Holland wear serial plates that open with the same 3 letters. On New Holland against LS, the price is the one nobody will publish. Rural King admits in writing that TYM builds its tractors and charges you $9,000 less. And Massey and SDF signed the newest deal of all, in February of last year. So step back and look at the whole lot at once. It looks like a dozen proud companies competing for your money. But behind the badges, just 5 factories are building the machines that all these other names get bolted onto. Daedong, LSM, Tron, TYM, SDF, and Mitsubishi, which built Mahindra's American compacts for years. And that is exactly how the costume stays invisible, because John Deere and Kubota really do still build their own. You see those two, and you assume everybody does. So here's how you refuse to overpay for paint. 3 moves. First, read the serial plate before the price tag. It does not work on commission. The full badge-to-factory cross-reference is the compact tractor buyer's ledger, linked below. Second, quote the source brand against the badge, and make the premium prove itself. Third, weigh the dealer, not the paint. A closer dealer and a real parts shelf are worth it. Fresh paint on the same steel is not. None of this means your loyalty is wrong. If you love the green, or the orange, or the red, go buy it. Just do it knowing what the premium buys before you sign. The steel does not know what got sprayed on it. Before you go, 2 things. The next video reads the plate on a brand you have not checked. And the one on screen names the tractor that wins for the money. See if yours made the cut.